round number 8 of Season 7 brings us to the 18th largest city in Asia and the Paris of the East. Welcome along then to the Vietnam Grand Prix at the 5.6-kilometre Hanoi Street Circuit. Unused yet in Formula 1, used only once in the Formula PlayStation League in the past, and quite possibly used as a pivotal point in the context of this season's championship. My name is Rob Kershaw. I'm joined once again by Matthew Vernal. 31 points covering the top 3 in this title race. JT and Trench trying to bridge the gap to Vapor Canute, who is not racing this evening. 9 points as well, separating 14th from 20th in the relegation scrap. It's a really important evening, Matt, at both ends of the standings.
Absolutely. Of course, again, just like a couple of weeks ago, JT and Trench are going to be rubbing our hands together at the thought of Knuth obviously not scoring any points tonight, no matter what. So they're going to be trying to take the most of it. Expect to see those two really pushing it tonight and trying to get those extra points.
Just the 13 drivers joining us for the start of qualifying here in Vietnam, which just shows the love that there is really for this circuit. It's a great track on the Formula 1 calendar, the 7th anti-clockwise circuit on the F1 2020 game. Not necessarily on the calendar, which was of course massively changed last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we do, of course, Matt, have TRT James racing with us this evening. I made a bit of a joke before we came on air that he might be able to score his first points of the season after 7 non-finishes from the first 7 races.
Yeah, well, everybody loves an underdog, don't they? Of course, James certainly has not had the season he wanted. As you mentioned, 7 non-finishes in a non-finish in every race. So certainly one to watch out for. We'll be cheering him on from the commentary booth. So hopefully he can finally break that curse it seems to be on him this season.
He actually only scored points once last season as well, and that was in the Singapore Grand Prix, which he won. That was as a reserve driver as well, so that was his only points finish of Season 6. So the last couple of seasons haven't been particularly kind to TRT James, but hopefully tonight we'll see some improved fortunes for him. Red Sniper in the Mercedes, he's made quite a good impression since he's joined the league, replacing Kex Vendel at Mercedes, also finished 4th for Renault at the Dutch Grand Prix. So 5 races with us, and he's finishing the points 3 times, still chasing that first podium though. I mean, of course, as I say, only 13 drivers here. It just increases those odds, doesn't it, of a couple of these underdogs getting themselves on the podium tonight, and Red Sniper Eye potentially could be one of them.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, with only 13 people, anything can happen. We could almost end up with Monaco from the mid-90s, where you only had 4 or 5 qualified finishes, especially at Vietnam, of course. Barriers very close to a lot of corners, very easy to end your race here. But similar to Singapore in a way, also very easy to rack up the penalties. That could play a big factor later on in the race. Of course, 2 favourites probably, JT and Trench, but after that it's anyone's game really.
Yeah, it will be an interesting race here, particularly of course with the final sector. It's going to be difficult to keep with the driver in front, so would you say qualifying is particularly important at a circuit like this?
Yeah, there aren't too many overtaking spots on this track, in spite of, I believe, the longest straight on the F1 calendar here at Vietnam, because the corner that follows it is very narrow and very slow. It's very difficult to actually make a move around there. So yeah, I'd say qualifying is pretty important tonight.
Yeah, 1.5 kilometres is the long straight. Not this one, but the one that follows shortly after where Vapor Cobalt is at the moment in the Haas. Cobalt, who this evening joins us and is chasing his 3rd podium of the season, as well as his 6th finish in the points, which, as we say, is more likely than ever this race. As he comes down this very long straight and prepares to just open up the DRS, which is at a fairly difficult place actually to spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also quite late down the straight as well. You get quite a long run where if you the car in front deploys a lot of VRS, possibly bumps a fuel mix up, it can actually be very difficult to take advantage of it. So I expect to see a lot of drivers maybe charging their ERS in the first sector just to boost it down there, really.
And towards this tricky final sector then, can Vapor Cobalt so twisty and difficult to find grip, get the car turning, as he's proving there, has a couple of goes at getting the car turned in. And in towards then these final couple of corners of the circuit. This is one of the 4 heavier braking zones of the track as he makes his way in towards turn 22, the final corner of the circuit. Opens up the DRS again and across the line for Cobalt, and 1:34.4 is the first lap time of the session. Vapor Elian goes P2, and Alexei goes into P1 with a 1:33.4, a second quicker than Vapor Cobalt. Red Sniper Eye slots into 4th place. With this being such a new circuit, do you expect the lap times to stay quite separated in terms of the gap?
I think so, because as you mentioned, we've only had it once before in the FPSL, so a lot of drivers won't have practiced it that much, as Miles Dunger's up 2nd place on 1:34.2, but yeah, it is a difficult track, and it really suits certain drivers, and other drivers just can never get a rhythm around here, similar to Monaco. It's not an easy track, that's for sure. I could see a fair gap in the lap times today.
Here then comes JT. 2nd place in the championship, looks to close the gap on Vapor Canute this evening. Slightly loses the back end, but goes P1, 1:33.4.
Only a couple hundredths.
To Vapor Alexei. And yeah, so very tight out the front actually in terms of the very top lap times. As here comes Benjamin, JT's teammate, around the final corner for him. And what sort of lap time can he set? Here it is a 1:34.7 to be 7th and currently slowest of the current runners. Very close though to Red Sniper Eye and the Mercedes, so certainly can't rule him out of getting any higher in this session, as here comes Harrison as well in the Red Bull.
You know what I'm like for predictions, Rob? I have a slight prediction for this one. The last corner, I think we're going to see 2 or 3 retirements there in the race.
Yeah, how difficult is that corner? Because there's just walls everywhere.
It's very, because if you push the car even slightly too hard, you're in the wall on the outside. If you turn in a little too early, you're hitting the wall on the inside. You have to nail it every time. And that's very difficult to do consistently over a whole race, especially with differing fuel loads, tyre wear. It can be very difficult through there.
Yeah, to my own detriment at times. I've definitely found Matt's accuracy in predictions as Harrison goes P5, 1:34.4 for the Red Bull driver. His teammate Carwin Robb is also on a lap as he just rounds this long turn 8. And
that's also a very difficult corner, that one, to try and get on, balance the power, because if you run it even slightly wide, you're compromised down this entire straight.
There's a lot of corners here, Matt, that just look so awkward.
Yeah, I like to do time trial before race just to kind of get a feel for the track, and yes, most of the corners on this track are. This hairpin as well is quite awkward. It's a lot wider on the exit than you anticipate. But yeah, especially turn 8, that's a difficult one with the straight afterwards, as is the final corner. Just a lot of. And there's some curbs as well that really catch you out. Through this sector, this inside curb here, as Karen Robb goes past it, if you clip that, it can spin the car easily.
Yeah, and of course, spinning the car here would usually result, I should say, in a bit of front wing damage as Carwin Robb brings his car in towards these final 2 corners.
That's a very nice run through there.
Control the back end on the exit, really good run. Good run through the final turn as well. Carwin Robb here goes P3, 1:33.8 from him. 4/10 slower than JT out front, so a good lap time there from the Red Bull driver.
Vapor Trench obviously made a mistake on his first lap, 1:35.3, right down at the bottom there, so not a lap he'll be happy with.
Down in P10 for Vapor Trench, certainly would have expected better of him. And here then is TRT James, one of 3 drivers now yet to set a lap time. Vapor Shea in the Ferrari still in the pits, and Bazooka Joe as well. We're still waiting for the second Haas driver to come across the line to set a lap as James brings his Renault in towards this final sector. I don't want to say that anybody's accident prone, but if anybody's going to crash in this final sector, is it going to be TRT James?
It's possible. I mean, it's very easy to crash in any sector on this track, though, to be honest. It's certainly not just a final sector thing. Of course, James has, I believe, crashed out of every single race, so it's as he comes across the line, set at 1:34.7.
In the top 10.
I do think we'll probably have 10 finishes or less today, though. I can see a fair few guys, not just James, of course, who has struggled with it, but most are just pushing it that little bit too hard. Maybe chasing a car down and you're in the wall.
I'm just joking, James, by the way. Disclaimer. That's Bazooka Joe then in the other Haas brings his car through the final sector. And looks a little bit scruffy, has to be said, in towards these final couple of corners of the track and around the final corner. And what can he do here? It's P11, 1:34.8. So just wonder if he maybe just started to back off in the final sector of the lap. His teammate Vapor Cobalt up in 5th place at the minute.
a lot of mid 134s as it stands. That's actually the sort of lap times I was setting in time trial as well, so it seems to be a fairly common time on this track. Just on the concept actually of tricky corners, as you mentioned, turn 1, 2 and I believe 3, that little left and then long right-hander section, it's so difficult to get on the power at the right time through there, because you can spin it easily on the exit of turn 1 and then turn 2 you can run wide and just blow a lap.
It's difficult to judge as well where to brake going into turn 3.
Yeah, definitely, because it's obviously, you're braking into the corner. It's similar to turn 10 in Bahrain, but it's even more sweeping as you go around it. It is very easy to lock up and very easy to mess up completely and run wide, and then you're being overtaken.
Yeah, turns 1, 2 and 3 actually designed based on the Nürburgring. Turns 1, 2 and 3 there, just the other way round, so a left and 2 rights instead of a right and 2 lefts, just in case anyone was wondering that. Not that anybody was. I don't think it does it quite as well as the Nürburgring does, if I'm very honest. But
well, of course, the Nürburgring you have that steep downhill as well. Into turn 1, it's very difficult.
Yeah, as Valtteri Bottas learned last season as well in the Mercedes. So JT then, still a provisional pole. This man here, Vapor Alexi, is currently P2. Carwin Robb in 3rd place with Miles Dunn in 4th. Miles, obviously, this is only his 2nd race in the league, but a bit of front wing damage as well for Alexi there as he comes into the pits. Miles Dunn has really impressed us so far in his first race in Bahrain, and also here 4th at the moment in qualifying.
Yeah, he's done very. Both of the Division 2 guys did in the first race on Bahrain, and then Carlson did struggle a bit last time out. Of course, we were a bit perplexed by that as to why he had struggled so much. But yeah, they've both made a good impression. They've both shown very good race pace and good racecraft as well. Not just clanging wheels and barging our way through the field, but very nice clean overtakes.
Yeah, Brazil was an excellent Grand Prix last time at Vapor Canute, winning the race on the very last lap. JT had a penalty anyway, so he would have won the Grand Prix Canute, but he got the job done on track. And Vapor Trench, of course, involved in that brilliant battle with the 2 Red Bull drivers, then span and retired from the Grand Prix, which potentially ended his championship hopes, but of course Canute absent again this evening, so a possible opportunity for Trench to claw some of that ground back. But if this race is half as good as Brazil was, then I think hopefully we'll be in for a cracker tonight.
And JT improves as well, 133.1.
Fantastic lap there from the Alfa Romeo driver, and just puts him further clear of Vapor Alexi in 2nd place. Of
course, Vapor Alexi was a Division 2 call-up as well, I believe, earlier on in this season. So that's another driver who's shown very good pace at points throughout this season as well.
Yeah, Alexi came into Division 1 from Division 2 earlier. He had 3 races, and in those 3 in Division 2 this season, he got 1 win and 3 podiums. So very consistent driver in Division 2, and has so far proven to be a very useful one as well in Division 1. And the short time he's had thus far in the Formula PlayStation League this evening is Alexi's 3rd race in Division 1. No podiums just yet. 1 points finish and 1 DNF from the first 2 so far, so not an awful lot to go on in terms of the future, but in terms of his raw pace, much like Miles Dunn, he's someone who is really promising us at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe one of those DNFs, he was actually running quite high up at the time as well. I think he was in 4th or 5th at retirement, so he's certainly shown he's got a good race pace. He's also got some fans as well, one of the few Finnish drivers we do have in the league, so certainly got a few people cheering him on as well from the sidelines, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, Kasu, another Finnish driver we have, but unfortunately he's not been with us for the last few races. He's had 3 races with us and has a points finish to his name. Hopefully we'll see him again before the end. Round number 8 of 12 here at the Vietnamese Grand Prix. In the comments, as always, let us know any predictions you have for the race, and of course predictions for the championship. Is Canute going to hold on to his advantage? As
Vapor Shea pulling a Hamilton there.
He comes into the pits, and I'm not quite sure what that was.
Obviously not happy with the lap.
Yeah, he's got just over 4.5 minutes to get back out on track. So I suppose though, if you do back out of a lap, I've said this before, but that's a set of tyres basically ruined, isn't it? Because a qualifying lap takes a lot out of these Pirelli tyres.
Absolutely. I mean, it's about 5-6% wear, probably a qualifying lap. So yeah, it's basically that set done for. It's a last resort to use those tyres again. Obviously, we don't have a multiple qualifying sessions like we do in real life, so probably a bit less punishing. So you do get 3 sets of soft tyres, so you have enough time and tyres to make 3 full-speed runs, basically.
None of our drivers yet have opted to go on to the medium rubber. Everyone's gone out on the soft tyres so far. Is that just because of the lack of familiarity with the circuit? You just want to get a good lap time?
Probably, and also in that midfield, it's probably not really worth trading the track position for starting on harder tyres, to be honest. Unless you're like a JT or a Kanoof who can qualify and have 5-6 tenths a lap raw pace over everyone else, it's normally not worth it, really.
Yeah, we've seen Kanoof quite often go onto the mediums at the start of the session, then just switch on to the softs right at the end. Nobody doing that this time. Everybody, as I say, going out on the red walled rubber as Alexi brings himself into these final couple of corners. Slight lock-up, which we've seen a little bit of so far in qualifying, round the final corner.
Oh, so close to the inside wall.
And he does improve, 133.3, but not enough.
Still 2 tenths away, 2.5 tenths. That's going to take a pretty astonishing lap to catch GT. Also, I don't think Alexi now has time to do another run because it takes about 1:30 to get back to the pits. And it's about 1:45 for an outlap round Vietnam, so I think he may have slightly mistimed it there.
Yeah, maybe because the track, of course, will evolve, won't it, towards the end of the session. Carwyn Robb is definitely someone who can pull a fair bit of pace out the bag as he enters this final sector of the circuit, getting so close to the barrier as he gets into this little complex of corners, which so far all of our 13 drivers have handled really, really well. As he brings that Red Bull into the final braking zone of the circuit.
Joe retires. I believe that's in the pits.
Yeah, he'll only get P11 at best then. And here comes Carwyn Robb. And it's
P1!
Pole! 133.0. Brilliant lap from Carwyn Robb. JT then is going to have...
He's coming straight back out.
To do. So JT on an outlap as we speak in the Alfa Romeo. So he's not going to be happy about that at all.
Yeah, Carwyn Robb, I think it was Singapore as well, wasn't it, where he put in a very impressive qualifying. So he seems to like street circuits, it seems.
Always just seems to have that little bit of pace, doesn't he, Carwyn Robb? And that's brilliant to see there. 133.0 from him. Is he about to grab his first pole position of the season, or can JT come back at him and claim his second pole of season 7? As he comes then in towards turn 11. Of course, this is still his outlap, but he'll know the pressure's on now because it was not necessarily easy, but the gap was pretty comfortable. And all of a sudden, Carwyn Robb's come in, and he's put in a brilliant 133.0 to take pole off him.
Absolutely. I also always think qualifying can often be an indicator of your raw pace on that track, and if these guys are only 800ths apart, that means we could certainly be in for some great racing later in the race as well. As Alexi retires, so
Alexi's out.
he obviously
really fighting the back end at the end of his lap, and he's not quite as quick, so he'll stay P5.
Obviously, as I mentioned, Alexi didn't really time it right to do another. Was it Alexi or JT? I mean, one of them didn't time it right to do another lap.
Alexi,
so
yeah, Alexi crossed the line. Yeah, you're right. Well, there's no guarantee that he'll finish in the top 3 at the end of qualifying. Harrison's gone back out as well. This man, Vapor Cobalt, is also on a lap.
Also got someone to watch out for from the back of the grid as it stands is Vapor Trench, one of the title contenders, who hasn't set another lap since that disappointing first run.
Yeah, he's still going in the Mercedes. JT has just begun his lap, so we're about to see then who is going to take pole position here in Vietnam. Here comes Vapor Trench in towards turn 11 at the that's not turn 11, is it? That is turn 6 he's about to go into. Got confused, as I always do.
Already 4.5 temps up. Oh no!
Oh, no! As he clips the barrier, and well, it's going to cost him a bit of time. Will it cost him overall over the course of the lap? I'm not too sure.
Unfortunately, a bit of commentator's curse. I was just about to mention how well he was doing on that lap, and then
Carwyn Robb's he's done with the session.
JT slightly slower through the first sector, so currently not looking like he's going to get pole.
No, so Carwyn Robb looks good for it right now. Vapor Trench, has he lost too much time in clipping? He's lost part of his front wing as well, hasn't he? There.
That's certainly not going to help through sector 3.
Yeah, that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's gone wide. I don't think he's going to be any quicker here.
He's going to start from the back if he doesn't improve on this lap. That's certainly not what he wanted today.
No. Vietnam is
oh
there we go. Yeah, and it validates the lap time, so that is that.
Oh, there it goes.
Goes Vapor Trench and out of qualifying in Vietnam.
JT flying past his front wing.
Yes, front wing just lying on the circuit. Hello. As JT round the final corner. Is this enough for pole? As Cohen Rock got his first pole of the season. JT, it's
oh my God!
32.8, 2/10 quicker. And just as Cohen Rock thought he had his first pole position of the season, JT snatches it right back again. Here comes Harrison now, the other Red Bull. And it's only fourth place for him, despite the improvement. Vapor out there as well in the Ferrari, but he's backed out of his lap. And so that will be that for qualifying. JT, it looked as though he'd lost it. He would have been fuming. How dare you take my pole position off me? But he goes and takes it right back again. That's a vital pole position for JT, and an awful qualifying for Vapor Trench.
What a lap by I mean, I was thinking maybe 1:33.0 was probably about as quick as we were going to get tonight, but 1:32.8, that is a blistering lap round Vietnam.
That is a clutch lap time from JT.
Exactly. Oh, there goes the front wing.
Clonks his front wing off for good measure.
That's almost a Vettel on Stroll there after qualifying.
Yeah, thankfully you won't need a ride back to the pits from anybody else, but that is a fantastic lap. And just when he needed a great lap, JT pulls one out of the bag, and it's a brilliant lap as well.
Absolutely. A lot of guys ended up in the 1:33s actually. We had a lot of 1:34s early on, so I think maybe that lack of familiarity, as you mentioned, playing a big part, because normally the guys don't get much quicker after their first run unless they made a mistake somewhere, so for them to all get about a second quicker is quite a big improvement.
Well, Vapor Trench is actually the only winner here in Vietnam in the Formula PlayStation League. He started second at the end of Season 5. TDV was his teammate at Mercedes at the time, and Trench came through to win the Grand Prix. And something tells me it'll have to be a hell of a race if he's going to win from P13. JT then on pole position for Alfa Romeo. Cohen Rob takes P2. Alexi in third place for McLaren. So he held on despite having to back out of qualifying early. Harrison P4. Vapor in fifth place. Miles Dunn in sixth. Kobalt seventh. Elliot in eighth place. TRT James in the top 10 in ninth. Benjamin in P10. Red Sniper Eye in 11th. Bazooka Joe P12. And Vapor Trench, after a really disappointing qualifying for him, down in 13th place. Of course, Red Sniper, Bazooka Joe and Vapor Trench will all have a free choice of tyres for the Grand Prix, but I mean, do you see them wanting to veer away from the softs?
Possibly, because track position is quite a big thing around here. I think they could run the mediums from the start and just kind of get out ahead of the guys on softs when they will pit and then just kind of hold them up a bit, you know, not give them that advantage of fresh tyres. Just one thing is very rare to see both from Mercedes in 11th and 13th. Certainly not something we've seen in real life in recent years. So
yeah, you know, it's been a crazy race if that ever happens to Mercedes. Of course, the German Grand Prix 2019 was a hell of a race on that occasion. Silverstone as well, of course, last year. Valtteri Bottas with the puncture, Lewis Hamilton holding on for the victory. And if there's going to be a Mercedes winner of any kind, I mentioned Vapor Trench, but you're right. Red Sniper only P11 himself. It's going to have to be a really mental race.
It's going to have to be a Germany 2019-esque race, I think, with rain and monsoons and people skidding off the track onto drag strips to have that sort of chance, really.
So as we get underway, we're prepared to get underway here in Vietnam. Any early predictions for the Grand Prix? Is JT going to hang on for pole?
I was going to say I'm going to be boring, but I'm going to go with JT. He's just proven it time and time again this season that he's got the pace, he's got the composure to keep it together at the front, you know.
Carwin Robb and Harrison have always kind of shown some good pace over the course of the season. I mean, they've definitely got a shot at a podium. Do you think they potentially have a shot at the race win? If, of course, anything were to go wrong for JT.
Of course, it is it's a street circuit. The walls are so close. All it takes is one bad exit, one missed apex, missed braking point, and you know you're in the wall. It's race over. Strategy actually around here, maybe a two-stop for the guys on softs. The game reckons you need to do a soft, medium, soft. But interestingly, Red Sniper and Bazooka Joe on hards to start the race, with Trench going on the mediums, so they're obviously planning on going quite long into this one.
Yeah. Potential issue though with the hards is a safety car, isn't it? Because it kind of just ruins your strategy. And
absolutely. Of course, around a street circuit, that's always a possibility. Especially on this year's game, a safety car seems to be very inconsistent. Sometimes you have a guy out of a race on an apex and the game doesn't think it's a safety car. And sometimes you lose half a front wing off the track, and the game's like, oh, that's a safety car. But you know, you have to roll with it. But yeah, as you mentioned, it does ruin your strategy.
Yeah, it is very inconsistent. F1 2020, or all the F1 games, to be fair, in terms of safety cars, and used to be red flags back in the day as well, but don't have those anymore.
Thank God.
Well, that race in Season 5, it was a crazy one. It was a battle for the Constructors' Championship. Some of our viewers may remember that one. Red Bull battling Mercedes, and it was a race where Vapor Canute had already wrapped up the driver's title, and Red Bull just had to get a decent finish, but neither Canute nor Buttons Back at the time could get any points for Red Bull. Mercedes got the 1-2, and they, in dramatic fashion, won the Constructors' Championship in Season 5. And as I say, if Vapor Trench is to have any sort of a say in what happens at the front, he's going to need to do a lot of overtaking and certainly make this race very interesting indeed. But JT, you would rather put your money on him breaking away from the start, you would think.
Cool. I mean, but Kyle and Rob did show very good pace in qualifying. As we saw in Brazil, he's certainly not afraid to stick the nose up the inside if he feels like he can get past you. So it could be an exciting one out at the front, and Harrison as well, of course, and Alexi. So it could be a good race.
Yeah, we'll see what happens off the start. Turn 1, of course, quite a big braking zone, so that's an opportunity for somebody to go and put a move into Turn 1. Hopefully not an into the barrier type move, but we will see what happens at the start of this Vietnam Grand Prix. JT looking to make up the ground in the championship. Can he do so here with a victory from pole? We're about to find out as round number 8 is about to get underway. The Vietnam Grand Prix. Is underway, and it's a pretty good start from second place from Cohen Rob, but it looks as though JT just about has him covered going into Turn 1. Alexi side by side with Harrison as he tries to go round the outside of the Red Bull. And what's going to happen between those two? Alexi's to the inside, Harrison holds the outside, and Vapor Shea battling away with Miles Dunn as well, with Cobalt on the inside of that particular battle. Miles Dunn holds it round the outside, and they're still very, very tight, those two, almost making contact with Elliot right behind them, and TRT James has fallen outside the points in the Renault, so not a good start for him. A very good start though for JT, holding on to the lead out front as everybody makes their way through the chicane. And look how close James is there to Elian, and he is actually into 8th place and very close as well. Vapor Shea and Cobalt, as Shea just about holds on to the position. Meanwhile behind there, James still right behind Elian, and he's also got Benjamin just behind him, and the Alfa Romeo tailing out the points at the moment. Vapor Trench up to 11th as well for Mercedes. Red Sniper and Bazooka Joe both losing out to the Mercedes driver off the start.
Oh, and Alexi's overtaken Harrison into the chicane.
Oh, and meanwhile James knocks up and nearly hits Elian, and now Benjamin's there as well. There's a little bit of contact between those two.
Side by side.
And it's going to be a drag race now down towards Turn 12. Who's going to come out on top here?
Oh, Slavo!
Oh, there's a lockup. Benjamin nearly into the wall. James just about.
Oh, and Trench!
Benjamin's in front. Trench is there as well, but he can't quite take advantage. And TRT James and Benjamin doing so well not to crash each other out of the Grand Prix.
He nearly hit his front wing on him.
Oh, this is unbelievable battling between these two on the opening lap of the Grand Prix. James looks to have survived the first lap here in Vietnam, and meanwhile Cobalt
is Alexi gone into the pits, or is it just a glitch?
It must be a glitch, because the timing screens are just going all over the place.
James is up to 6th according to Cody.
Yeah, co-masters are at her again, aren't they? Yeah, Alexi still P4. He was overtaken by
very close to Harrison.
Going into Turn 11. Vapor Shea just ran ever so slightly wide, and I don't really know what's happening anymore, to be honest. Neither do the timing screens, so we're just going to go with what we see. So Alexi right behind the Red Bull of Harrison as they head into Turn 6, and Harrison runs slightly wide on the exit of 7. Alexi's trying to go on the inside through it. That's going to compromise.
Look at Shea.
9, and Vapor Shea is right behind him in the Ferrari. And here
it's a slipstream train.
Yeah, and we've got DRS as well in play down towards Turn 11. So who's going to be on top here? Alexi so close to Harrison.
That's on his side.
He's wheel with Harrison. Harrison isn't going to have the inside because Alexi's passed it before they get there, and he's back up into the top 3 is the McLaren. Harrison forced back down to 4th place with a train of cars behind him as well.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually got DRS yet. I think that was, I think a game's miscounted by a lap, because I think this is only the 2nd time round, so
Who knows what's happening anymore?
Codemasters.
Codemasters are just in the world of their own tonight. And so Alexi then, yeah, I think you're right. I think we are just going on to lap number 3 the next time round. JT, though, has broken the DRS to Carwin Robb, so it has been a very good start from the Alfa Romeo driver.
I was going to say he's going to be very happy with that start. Second and a half ahead after 2 laps.
Certainly will, so he can go out and try and find a rhythm now, as we do head on to lap 3 now in this Grand Prix. So thanks for that, Codemasters. Harrison then. So he will have DRS now, and
oh, Harrison very wide.
Very wide indeed. You just wonder whether Alexi's going to be able to handle that for the Red Bull. It has to be said though, Alexi's had a really good run.
Oh, I think I saw some front wing fly off someone in the background. I don't know who that was.
Well, there's a bit of close racing going on behind. TRT James is still right behind Benjamin.
Oh, Harrison gets a 3-second penalty already.
Harrison's picked up a penalty, and Alexi just ran slightly wide through turn 7. Didn't really cost him too much though. And there ahead, you see
that gap is falling pretty quickly though between Harrison and Alexi, and of course DRS not in play yet, and he's got no ERS left either. He's deployed it already.
Yeah, so what can Harrison do here? He's got Vapor Shea though right behind him as well in the Ferrari. There he is, and Shea here. No, he's
just not quite close enough.
Oh,
Harrison
runs wide. Now there's going to be a chance for Vapor Shea.
Oh, Vapor side by side. He's got through.
He's past the Red Bull, who was trying to get himself together on the exit of turn 11. And Shea says, "Thank you very much. I'll have 4th place."
Yeah, that's a you know, just waiting for a mistake. Almost. I mean, he didn't even force it. Harrison just forced himself wide, and as he said, Shea just said, "Thank you very much," and swooped on through.
Vapor Kovac then is the next
very
man,
close,
right behind Harrison. So dealing pretty well, has to be said, with the twisty nature of this final sector, despite being stuck behind the Red Bull. There's Miles Dunn, and then Elian, Benjamin, and TRTJ.
Oh, so close to the wall.
Yeah, you do wonder if someone's going to hit that later on. Vapor Trent still hasn't progressed into the points, still in P11 in the Mercedes with his teammate Red Sniper Eye and Bazooka Joe, the only drivers behind him in this Grand Prix. So not the start to the race that Trench would have been looking for from P13, but he is right behind that battle for the points. Is very wide. Goes
Miles Dunn.
Miles Dunn is right there in the Williams to take full advantage of that. And
they're going to be side by side.
And surely he's got him. No, he doesn't. Cobalt holds on, but he does go slightly wide. Falls potentially slightly foul of the track limits through turn 7, but he gets away with it.
I think
now Miles Dunn's going to have the run.
I think Miles Dunn pulled out of that move. I think he realised it probably wouldn't go 2 cars into that corner, but now he's going to have this run down this DRS straight.
Surely he's got him now. He's going to have the inside as well for turn 11.
We're both going to have DRS. Yeah, he just tucks in.
Nicely done from Miles Dunn. I'll tell you what, you might be able to just get past Harrison as well.
Oh, that's on the side. The switch back.
Now we'll swoop back underneath him, but no. Good little line there from Miles Dunn to stay in front. And it's P6 for him. Also
further down the grid, James getting in front of Bender as well, so he's making his way up the grid. He just overtook him on the DRS straight there.
He has indeed. So James then up into 9th place. And is this finally going to be the race where TRT James scores points? I don't want to put a jinx on it just yet.
Oh, Rob.
But with 13 drivers in this race, James up into the top 10. Come on, James, let's get some points on the board here in Vietnam. Let's see if he can do it.
It's quite interesting, really. The front 4 are all very spaced out, and then the rest of the grid is so close to each other.
I'll tell you what, though, Carwin Robb is just over a second now behind JT, so he's managed to claw back some of that time that he lost in the opening couple of laps.
I think JT may have made a mistake somewhere, because he lost about 6/10. And Bazooka Joe's up the final corner as well.
Yeah, so
that's a full safety car.
Safety car deployed, so, yep, you're right, that final corner has caught somebody out. And Bazooka Joe, as you can see on the mini-map, has beached his car in the barrier, and that is the Haas out of the Vietnam Grand Prix. He was running in last anyway, and well, he is now out of the Grand Prix. And that is just the 12 runners with us this evening.
I'd be interested to see if any of the front runners pit now, because of course you can. It's basically a free pit. You know, you're going to come back out. You're all going to be bunched. Oh no, James!
Oh, James gets a penalty.
Wait, is he stopped?
No, he's going, but he's
oh, that's the safety car on the lap, but I saw that's on the track. It's yellow, but
James has got a penalty under the safety car for cutting corners.
I mean, also the thing to remember as well: before you catch up to the safety car, you are under a delta like the VSC, so you're not going to be going too quickly.
Yeah, this is it. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. But hopefully, I mean, because it might get to the stage where even if you just finish the race, you'll get points. You only need 2 more retirements for that. Red Sniper Eye will be ruining this safety car because, of course, he's on the hard tyres. Bazooka Joe, ironically, was the other one on the hard tyres, so he would have been dreading a safety car, but he's caused a safety car by crashing, so it doesn't really matter to him anymore. He's out of the Grand Prix.
And JT, yeah, everyone's into the pits up the front. I think if you go onto the hards now, you might be able to stretch it to the end of the race. I think. Oh, Alexi, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits.
Under the safety car as well. Shouldn't even been going that quickly. So everybody.
And Trench is going to take the. No, I think Trench is coming. No, Trench is out front. So if he carries on, I think he might overtake everyone.
Yeah, Trench has carried on, so he will lead the Grand Prix. Not something he thought he would be doing this evening.
Yeah, but, everyone's going on to. Oh no, Cohen Bob's gone on to mediums. I don't think he's going to be able to take them to the end of the race, you know.
I just wonder if that's a mistake from the game in that case.
Miles done on mediums as well.
Yeah, Red Sniper Eyes.
Shay and James also on mediums, but everybody else has now gone on to hards, apart from Trench, who obviously started on the mediums.
And I mean, I guess the answer is definitely yes, but can the hards make it to the end of the race from here?
Yeah, but they're going to be pretty worn by the end as well. So any drivers on the mediums who do pit onto softs, they're going to be flying through the field with these guys on their hard, because they're going to be on about 60% wear by the end of this one.
Do you think that's the logic then from Carwin Rob, is that, well, the guys on the hards are going to have to pit again anyway, or either that or they'll be on very dead tyres at the end, so maybe that's the thinking, just pit again and come through. But at the same time, what if he doesn't have enough laps to come back? So that's always the fascinating part, isn't it, about safety car strategies? Who's got it right?
And also, I mean, where do you overtake? Even if you do have a tyre advantage, there aren't too many places. Of course, turn 1, 2 and 3, very difficult. Turn 8 as well, you can't really overtake through there. And the third sector is pretty much no overtaking unless, you know, the guy in front makes a serious mistake. So
this track passes by the Maideen National Stadium in Hanoi. And it was Herman Tilke who designed this circuit. I was really shocked when I read that, but Herman Tilke designed it. I'd never have guessed that Herman Tilke would have designed this Formula 1 circuit.
It's got long straights, 90-degree corners, and then a very quick S section for no reason. So, you know, it's a very Tilke-drome track, this one, unfortunately.
It ticks all the boxes.
But of course, we don't know how good of a track it is because we haven't seen a race there yet. It might be a dud like Baku was the first year, where we had a very nice procession around Azerbaijan, but it could also be like Baku the second year we were there, of course, which was certainly a much more exciting race.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate in terms of, excuse me, the Vietnam Grand Prix. Due to COVID-19, obviously, it couldn't host a race last year, and that coupled with political issues surrounding Nguyen Duc Chung, who is the Hanoi chairman who pushed the race through. It actually looks very possible that a real race here might not happen. The chairman of Hanoi was pretty much the only one who wanted this race to happen, and now that there's a lot of issues surrounding him, it just looks as though the race here might be abandoned completely. Which,
I was going to say, I thought, is it still on the calendar this year, or have they taken it off?
No. So there's a 23 race calendar this season. Vietnam is not one of those races. It was announced last year that Vietnam would not be on the calendar for this season, and yeah, who knows if we'll ever see it on a Formula 1 calendar.
I was going to say, so it's possible the only races we ever see around Vietnam are on F1 2020, because of course it probably won't be in next year's game unless they decide to keep it in.
Well, I mean, I hope we'll see Imola, Mugello, tracks like that on this year's game. I hope so.
I think that might be possible because Codemasters own Slightly Mad Studios, who do Project Cars, and that does have Mugello and Imola on it. So, and Hockenheim and the Nürburgring as well. So that could happen.
Yeah, hopefully there's quite a lot to look forward to, and of course it would make the league racing scene quite interesting as well if we could have some of those tracks on the calendar. So, Codemasters, get on it. Get us those tracks, please. And well, hopefully, in terms of, as far as Vietnam goes, as far as Vietnam is concerned, hopefully they do get to host a Formula 1 race at this circuit.
It is, as much as it, you know, we do rag on it and it is a bit boring, it is an interesting circuit, I think, from a driver's perspective. You know, it's really about who can put the car on the limit and keep it there. It's really a track that someone like a Verstappen or a Hamilton would, you know, really shine round, I feel.
Yeah. How much of it is raw pace and how much of it is just consistency, lap by lap, keeping it out of the barriers to see if the car can do this lap?
As with most street circuits, probably a combination of the two. You know, you can have all the pace in the world, but if you can't keep it out of the barriers, then, you know, what's the point? You're not going to win a race because you're just going to DNF somewhere.
Vapor Trench has kept out the barriers so far. He's about to lead us away then on the safety
car
restart.
Around Vietnam, a lot of drivers won't have done a safety car restart, so where do you launch it?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I guess the drivers behind as well won't have a clue where he's going to do it, so that's the advantage he does have as he gets into this penultimate corner. And is he going to go on the exit of here? Actually, no, that's not.
No, we have another corner yet. We have this right-hander, and then we've got the last two left-handers. So
confused again. There's a lot these days. Here we go. Vapor Trench.
Trench is going. Yeah, he's gonna go now, I think.
He's gone for a bit of a traction zone out of the penultimate corner, so watches the back end through there, but away we go then. Back underway here.
Oh, Cohen Rob not getting a good start.
Yeah, Cohen Rob with Red Sniper Eye right
Miles Dunn
him.
very close to Alexi in the background.
Miles Dunn having a little look into turn one, but not quite close enough to the McLaren. Just yet to go for a move. Both Williams and McLaren powered by Mercedes this season. As here comes
up the inside.
He's got the line in towards turn 3. Has he
Ooh.
got past Alexi? Who holds
No,
it on the
Alexi.
inside of turn 4. Was that
Oh,
a corner?
contact.
A little bit of contact between them as they head through turn 4. Really, really feisty stuff between these two. In towards the chicane of turn 6 and 7. And Miles Dunn thinks better of an overtake as Cobalt has a look at Harrison going into turn 6. But he's not close enough for the overtake either. Turn 6 not really proving to be a popular overtaking spot because of the turn 7 that follows right behind it. But here we go onto this really long back straight. No DRS just yet because the safety car's only just come back into the pits. But who's going to get the jump as we head down towards turn 11? Miles,
I mean, he's going to be close enough.
Getting so close to him, but is he going to be close enough for the move? I don't think he is. No, he's not.
Oh, in the background, Cobalt and Harrison are side by side.
Cobalt having a look down the inside. It was almost a bit of a
Whoa.
half move. Harrison gave him the room, and in the end, that was a wise move because Cobalt did manage to get a fair chunk of his front
Elion and
nose in there.
Benja as well are swapping positions. I think they swapped positions a couple times out of that hairpin there, so they're having a bit of a ding-dong battle as well.
Yeah, battling for P11, so just outside the points despite being the last two runners on the circuit. So some really feisty battling going on the safety car restart, which is always good to see as we head.
Oh, Shay's so close. This whole
9.
train is. Look at that.
Yeah, James right behind it, and Miles Dunn.
Look at Miles Dunn, he's so close.
So close to Vapor Alexi, who is also very close to Red Sniper Eye in the Mercedes. He feels he needs to go defensive into turn 1, and Miles Dunn isn't able to go for a move just yet. Bit of a lock-up as well from the Mercedes. And,
oh, James has overtaken Shay in the background. I don't know if Shay made a mistake somewhere, but he's drove up the inside into turn 1, I think.
Must have done, because Shay's lost so much ground there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
At the start of this lap, has he? I just wonder, has he pumped his front wing somewhere? Yes, he has.
Yeah, he's lost both them plates, hasn't he?
He's damaged his front, so I think he clogged both the barriers through the final corner. Red Sniper Eye and Miles Dunn have been going side by side, so Alexi's just gotten past Red Sniper Eye, and now the Williams of Miles Dunn looking to achieve the same thing, and surely on Red Sniper
Eye's so close.
Tires, he doesn't stand a chance against the Williams, and Miles Dunn is going to cruise past him on the run down towards 10-11. No need for DRS here. And
is Red Sniper Eye going to have a go?
I'll tell you what, Red Sniper Eye's going to come back at him. He's back in the slipstream of the Williams. Is he going to be close enough for a
Is he
move?
going to dive? He's going for a dive. No, he just pulled out.
Miles Dunn nearly to Lexi, and it's almost a massive chain reaction accident. They just about get away with it. But Miles Dunn very nearly costing himself just as quickly as he had gotten ahead of the Mercedes. But it is now Miles Dunn at the 5th place. Red Sniper down to 6th, and Harrison in P7 right behind the Mercedes.
And JT right behind Trench out front as well. So that can be something to keep an eye on there. And Colin Rob's right in that battle as well. So when these guys finally decide to stop racing each other, you know, we might be able to have a look at that as well.
It's been a crazy restart here, and no, so Harrison not able to have a look just yet. As here then comes
DRS this
on
lap.
to lap number 10. Carmen Rob just putting himself in JT's wing mirror, letting him know that he's there and he's ready to pounce on any mistake.
Oh, and Shay's into the pit, so he obviously decided he couldn't carry on with that damaged front wing.
Yeah, it didn't look as though he was getting an awful lot of grip from that front wing.
Oh, Red Sniper Eye, has he made a mistake? He's just been overtaken by 3 cars.
Red Sniper Eye's lost so much ground, he's been passed by everyone into turn 1. And that is him now down to 9th place. So
must have been a mistake in turn 1, but he hasn't got any damage, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, really struggling.
Oh, Cobalt!
And Harrison now side by side, and Cobalt passes.
Harrison's got James as well.
James as well.
No, he just doesn't.
Very close in the end. Probably a smart move from the Renault. Doesn't want to retire from another race this season, so thinks better of it. As he closes on the Rebels.
He's going to be on the quicker tyres as well.
Yeah, really good run this from James.
Watch Red Sniper Eye in the background too. I think he might be having a look when they get under DRS.
So James is past. Red Sniper Eye is having a look. TRT James up now into P7.
And
Meanwhile,
JT's
Vapor
overtaken Trench.
has been passed by
Oh!
JT, and the Alfa Romeo up into P1 just about. Was a little bit scruffy on the exit of turn 11, but it doesn't matter as far as JT's concerned.
Oh, what's happened to James? James has made a mistake.
James, has he? Oh, what's he done here?
He's been overtaken by 2 or 3 cars. He's got no damage though.
Yeah, he hasn't got any damage, so he's clearly made a mistake somewhere, but he's back down to P9. Oh, and Harrison's off, and TRT James has the position.
God, these guys are just swapping positions like crazy.
An unforced error from Harrison. Don't see that very often from him. But that is him now, down the 9th place, and TRT James with a free position into the pits.
Has he got damage?
He's got damage, yeah, he's got damage to his right end plate. So that's the reason for that.
Oh, Kyle Rob overtaking Trench as well.
Front wing lost at the final corner. TRT James.
Past Red Sniper Eye.
Red Sniper Eye into 7th place.
Trench down to 3rd now as well. Kyle Rob's managed to get put. James, no!
Oh,
he was spinning!
Oh no, James! Oh no!
That's damage as well. He's going to have to pit.
Put his Renault in the wall, and TRT James might just have cost himself a chance of points.
No,
James!
James!
James, what have you done?
Oh, and Trench has crashed on with as well. I think he spun through 6 or 7.
He's lost 2 positions there, isn't he? He's lost out to Miles Dunn and Alexi. Nobody seems to want to keep their positions here in Vietnam. As here comes Alexi.
Miles Dunn ain't going to have DRS, but he's got...
This is for the podium.
Alexi's got new DRS.
Surely here he's got him, but Miles Dunn's going to try and defend.
He's still there? No.
He's not. Alexi with the overtake into 3rd place in Vietnam.
Wow, a good overtake there by Alexi. Yeah, people just, I mean, the field's spreading out a bit now, but everyone's just spinning and everyone's changing positions like crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Lots of unforced errors being made. JT, though, is not making any of those. He's still in the lead and just over a second in front of Carwin Robb, who well, he was nice and quick in getting past Vapor Trench. That's allowed him to be reasonably close to JT. We didn't get that overtake because we were too busy watching everybody else create that little circus for us that we enjoyed, and positions being traded left, right and centre.
I think as oh no, Trench is in the pits, that's why the timing screen was a bit weird. He obviously suffered damage then.
Miles done so close there to Alexi into turn 1, nearly careers into the back of the McLaren, but just about avoids it.
The crazy thing is, after all that, we've ended up with the top 3 we had after qualifying as well, so...
it's all even itself out in the end as Trench comes out of the pits, and TRT James into the pits as well.
Oh, James!
Oh dear. So James now out of the
Has he gone on to the mediums? I assume he's trying to take them to the end, but that,
I guess there's more chance from here than there was from the safety car, but yeah,
although to be fair, with a track like this, he might still have a chance to get some points.
Yeah, I mean, the attrition rate around a street circuit is always worse, isn't it, than any other circuits? So
I feel like James is doing his best Julian Palmer impression around street circuits, and that's a penalty for crossing the pit exit line too early, I believe, for James there. So
I don't think he got one. I think he's still on the one that he got.
No, it just popped up as he came out the pits. So yeah, I think he did get that for crossing the pit exit line.
Yeah, he's not been very alert today, has he, around this street circuit?
Miles Dunn still right behind Alexi as well, so that battle's still raging on.
Yeah, he's still following the McLaren very closely. He hasn't given up on this position yet as Miles Dunn, and why should he? Because it is a place on the podium.
He's also on the softer tyres as well, Miles Dunn, so you'd think he'd have the pace advantage.
Yeah, same age as well, but Alexi is driving an absolute stall here, and he's still just in front of the Williams driver for now. But of course, Alexi does have a penalty to his name. So
yeah, that's 3 seconds. Also, Red Sniper Eye having a bit of a train behind him again as well. Benjamin, a Lion, both very close to him at this point.
Yeah, Red Sniper has done well, hasn't he, to keep these tyres. Still on the same set of hard tyres that he started the Grand Prix on. He's had no choice in that matter, really, because of the safety car, and there wasn't really anything else he could do with his strategy once that safety car came out. But still going, still in 6th place as well, so we'll see. Maybe if there's another safety car towards the end, then Red Sniper Eye can attack. But I think he wouldn't want that. He would want to obviously come into the pits and go on a charge on fresh
yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's Harrison that's gone round.
Who's gone off? Harrison is in P11.
Yeah, I think it is. It looked like the Red Bull between the Mercedes and the Renault, but he's managed to not get any damage. So
Yeah,
turn one proving to be tricky for a few drivers tonight.
He's on his own now, so yeah, you're right. Harrison then making, I believe, another mistake, as he made a little bit earlier on. But as you say, managing to keep hold of his front wing for the time being. Those front wings, though, seem to want to fly off quite often this evening in Vietnam. Benjamin getting closer to Red Sniper Eye down the back straight, but not quite close enough yet. Who's on the hards is Benjamin, as is Elian. Of course, they are much fresher tyres than Red Sniper Eye has in front of them.
Yeah, I feel like it's something we have seen a few times this season now. Red Sniper Eye just having people behind him putting pressure on. I feel like it's a fairly common sight in the FPSL so far.
Red Sniper Eye, I think, his best hope really is just to look for his 4th points finish of the season. He won't necessarily score a podium this evening, but of course he did start in P11, so at the moment he's doing quite a good job in the Mercedes. We'll see how long he can take those hard tyres, as Benjamin again has a little look in the wing mirror, but again isn't close enough.
Trench gets a penalty for speeding in the pit. He's retired.
He's retired from the session. He's had enough of this Grand Prix, has Vapor Trench. He span in Brazil and decided to retire from that one, and now he's sped into the pits here, and he's retired from this race as well.
That means James is going to be one position away from the points.
James, just don't crash, James. Don't crash. We've got points. And so here comes Elian. Has a little look at passing Benjamin. Has he just put the Alfa Romeo off slightly? No, Benjamin's done pretty well.
Miles Dunn very close to Alexi as well down the DRS straight.
Certainly is, and this is going to be another change of position for the podium as Miles Dunn does.
I think he's got it done,
pass.
yeah.
Oh no,
Alexi's still there, but he locks up.
Miles Dunn gives him space and stays ahead on the exit as they go through turn 12 and in towards.
Oh my god, Benja is going past Red Sniper Eye as well.
Sniper Eye getting past. Oh, look at Elian as well, who's in there in the racing point. Red Sniper Eye tries to defend.
He's pushed off the track almost.
Benjamin is there in front of him, and Elian not quite able to take advantage just yet, but Benjamin finally has that position done into 6th place in Vietnam. That
move by Benjamin was very Verstappen on Leclerc Austria-esque there, just giving him, well, pretty much the curb to go over.
It looks so difficult, though, to make a move into turn 11 without making contact.
It is, because it's so narrow. You don't see it so much from the broadcast perspective, but when you actually drive around there, it is very narrow if you go side by side through that corner.
Elian then round the final corner.
He's going to be very close here into turn 1.
Yeah, well, turn 1 has proved to be quite a difficult corner for everybody so far, so is he going to attempt an audacious move? No, he's not. Thinks better of it. Of course, he does want to get this move done quickly because Benjamin at the minute is starting to escape up the road, and he doesn't want that, so he wants to try and navigate his way past the Mercedes as quick as he possibly can. If he can get it done into turn 6, that would be great for him, but it's a good run from Red Sniper Eye.
Is he going to make a move in 6?
Very, very close, isn't he?
Red Sniper Eye shots the door on the inside, but
he goes defensive, but it's not enough, and Elian gets past him into 7th place. Then goes the racing point.
Oh, he's so close through 6 as well. A bit late on the brakes there. Oh, Kyron Rob's within DRS range now up front of JT as well. So
he is, yeah. As the pink Mercedes gets past the black Mercedes, and what? Carwin Rob then, can he maintain this 1 second? No, he can't. He's just fallen a second behind. So he's
gaining a lot of time through sector 3 though. Those softer tyres really showing their advantage through here right now.
Certainly is there or thereabouts, isn't he? And he's actually just closed up by half a second in the final sector. So
showing you those soft tyres.
Yeah, JT hasn't got damage or anything. So Carwin Rob just with a really good run there through the 3rd sector. And he's putting JT under a little bit of pressure now.
That's where a lot of time on this track is gained or lost, is through that 3rd sector. How brave are you? How close to the walls can you get it without, you know, pushing it too far?
This then could be an exciting battle in the final 13 laps for the victory here in Vietnam, which isn't entirely a street circuit. Herman Tilke's idea was to combine newly created racetrack parts with of course, I guess pre-existing, as Cohen has a look, pre-existing street circuits. A little bit like how Canada and Le Mans work, in terms of a bit of a combination, a bit of a hybrid of a street track and a purpose-built racetrack. Le Mans actually was used for Formula 1 in 1967, but that was the short Bugatti circuit. which is only 4.1.
Oh, Cohen Rob's going to be close here in DRS.
The long circuit, and I tell you what, Cohen Rob here might be about to make this a bit of a longer
to be inside.
evening for JT, because he's on the inside here, and he goes down the inside, and Cohen Rob leads the Vietnam Grand Prix. Brilliant stuff for the Red Bull driver, and he's ahead of JT.
I think JT might just kind of bide his time here, though, because those mediums are going to fall away a lot quicker than those hard tyres, so he might just bide his time here, stay in DRS range, and just wait for those tyres to start going off.
Very true. Who knows whether Cohen Rob can take those tyres to the end? Who knows whether JT can take his heart to the end? But of course, he, as you say, has a much better chance than Cohen Rob does on those medium tyres. But what's not going to help JT here is that he will be stuck in the dirty air of Cohen Rob, which won't hurt his, which won't do his tyres any good, I should say.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's a very interesting circuit, Vietnam. I'm just saying about the hybridness of it. It's also very apt for the current era of F1, of course, the hybrid engines. So
yeah, it certainly is. There you go. Fits pretty well with F1's current status. And
Red Sniper in the pits.
Yeah, Red Sniper's pit. It's a bit of a strange pit entrance, isn't it? So
yeah, you kind of jump a couple positions because it is the inside line into that corner, similar to Silverstone.
You can never tell the difference between Codemaster's timing screens jumping and somebody coming into the pits. But yeah, Red Sniper right in.
Into the medium, so he's obviously going to the end on those.
Yeah. Could he have made the softs go from here?
I think you probably can actually. 11 laps on the softs is probably doable around this track, but they are going to be pretty warm by the end of that stint.
Very true.
Harrison is also going to jump him, I think, into turn 1. It's going to be quite close actually between these two.
Yeah, the pit entry, of course, the pit exit, I should say, really speeds up, but Harrison...
Yeah, no, he's out way ahead.
Yeah, Red Sniper right is ahead, but of course he does have that penalty, so it is 3.6, so even with that penalty applied, he would still... In fact, no, that's Harrison, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison with a penalty, so yeah, he really needs to get a move on if he's going to get past Red Sniper, but of course, he's on 6-lap-old medium tyres compared to Red Sniper's very fresh medium tyres, so... 11 runners in the Grand Prix. TRT James is still the last of those.
James.
So still set to not score any points, but he is set to finish a race if he doesn't crash.
Rob
So, would be his first finish off the season. Let's hope.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to see a guy, you know, get that duck off his back. It's I can't imagine how frustrating it would be actually in that situation of 7 races. You know, they do put time in, these drivers. They do time trial. They do try and perfect their setup, and then just have it all thrown away every week is probably pretty frustrating, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it must be a nice feeling. So hopefully James can pull it back, and JT here is closing back here on Cohen Rob. So having taken the lead, Cohen Rob is coming under a lot of pressure from the Alfa Romeo, who has not given up on his position just yet. And of course, why should he? Because he is gunning for this season's championship as we approach the end of season 7. We started in Belgium, which JT won in the opening stages, and of course as we head towards the final race in Mexico in a few weeks' time, we'll see who's going to come out on top in season 7. As JT then in towards turn 11. Has he got the run? No, he doesn't. Still having to stick behind the Red Bull of Cohen Rob for the time being. He's got a pretty good exit through turn 12, but still not close enough for the overtake. He's having a little look, not leaving the Red Bull alone, that's for sure. Cohen Rob here is feeling a lot of pressure right now. He needs to keep it together with 11 laps to go.
Another 11 laps on 12-lap-old mediums already. I don't know how well that's going to go for Cohen Rob. That may be very borderline into puncher territory, that one.
It's going to be a struggle, isn't it? He's in the pits. Cohen Rob pits then.
Yeah, so he's going to go on the soft side, imagine, try and really chase down JT. But I think it's about a 25-second pit stop around Vietnam, is it not? It's quite a long pit stop.
It's quite a long one.
Because we don't have any real-world data to go off, unfortunately.
No,
so
we don't. So who knows how long it really takes? We haven't tried timing it. So he's on the soft tyres now. Do you think Cohen Rob was supposing that the hards were going to be a lot more warm than they actually are?
Yeah, I think he also might have thought they were a bit slower than they've ended up being. He's going to come out in 5th place here. He's going to be clear of Benja and that battle going on. Thankfully for him, he's going to be very happy about that. But still a lot of time to gain in just 9 laps here.
Yeah, that's going to be a struggle, even if to even get onto the podium at this point, it's going to be quite difficult.
You have to be about a second and a half a lap quicker than Alexei and Cobalt. Well, actually, Alexei's got a penalty though, so.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he can definitely get past Cobalt. He's just over 2 seconds behind him, but it's getting to within 3 seconds of Alexei without getting a penalty himself. It's going to be the difficult part, but he might still get a podium yet in this Grand Prix.
Look how quick those soft tyres are. They're not even fully warmed up yet, and he gained about 3 tenths through that corner.
It's rapid, isn't he, at the moment, Carwin Robb? And he's already closed the gap then to just over 1.5 seconds to Cobalt.
Miles done in second, actually. We haven't really noticed it, but he's well up there at the minute. He might have that if he doesn't pick up a penalty. I don't think Carwin Robb will catch him because he's about 15 seconds clear.
Looks quite comfortable now, doesn't he, Miles Dunn, for second place? Really has impressed us since his arrival into the league. I know we mentioned it before, but it was brilliant.
He's into the pit.
In the pit. Oh, of course,
the mediums. I forgot he wasn't on the hard, so he's gonna come up behind Benjamin. I think he might get dragged into that battle between Benjamin and Alliance. So
there's not going to be a podium here for Miles Dunn, but it doesn't change the fact that his performance has been incredibly impressive. So let's see. I mean, he should go on to the soft tyres.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pointless going on to anything else at this point.
Yeah. There you go. So it is the Red Bull softs.
Yeah, Benjamin and Lion are coming around the last corner now. It's going to be pretty close, actually, I think.
Elian's very close
as they come flying down the straight. It's going to be pretty close. They've just passed him.
Yeah, I think Miles just...
I think he's going to be... Oh, it might be a bit... Oh, he's going to get just ahead.
He's going to be in front, yeah. So that's a good stop then for Miles Dunn. So still P5. And that's
and Carwin Robb's already got past Cobalt as well.
He has. We didn't even see that. Yeah, he has. So, yeah, he's got past the Haas driver.
Oof.
And so Carwin Robb then back up into the podium place.
Look at the grip of those tyres as well. He's just flying out there.
This is incredible stuff. So he has just over 7 seconds to make up then in order to be within the distance that he needs to be of Alexei to get second place in this Grand Prix. JT all but has the win wrapped up here. Just under 6 seconds is his advantage back to the McLaren of Vapor Alexei. So he just needs to hold on to that and not throw it away. But it's crucial for Miles Dunn that he got ahead of this battle because he did not want to be stuck behind Benjamin and Elian. As here comes Elian closing into the Alfa Romeo.
Oh, that's going to be close.
And he's going to go around the outside. Benjamin's going to defend the inside for all.
Is he going to try and switch it? You can't really switch out that corner though. It's very difficult to do unless the other car runs so wide.
Benjamin with really good grip on the exit of turn 11 as well, and was able to stay in front. Of how much longer can he keep fending off the Racing Point that's furiously chasing him down and trying to steal 6th place away from him? We will find out, of course. So the last few laps of the Grand Prix as to whether Benjamin can hold on. In fact, he can hold on because into the pits comes Elian. So why has he done that?
Has he got damage? That's the only thing I can think of, is if he's picked up some front wing damage somewhere. But otherwise, all the other hard runners are staying out. I'm a bit confused by that one. Because that's just going to drop him... I think he's going to be just inside the points after that one.
This does make it quite interesting, though, in terms of the other hard tyre runners, because...
Yeah, they're not changing the front wing, so is he just going for fastest lap, maybe? But he's going to lose so many positions. Oh, James, no!
Oh, no, James! What a... I see. Oh,
he spun in the last sector, but he's got away with no damage again.
He doesn't have any damage, but he's now 23 seconds behind Elian.
Oh, James!
Behind him as well. Elian's just coming to the pit exit.
Carwin Robb's also gained about 2 seconds on Alexei in this last lap and a half, so...
Yeah, I think Carwin Robb's going to do enough, because he doesn't even have to catch him properly, just has to get to within 3 seconds of Vapor Alexei to take second place here.
Of course, he might get fastest lap as well, which would put him up to 19 points for the Grand Prix, which certainly isn't a bad haul.
Yeah, do you think TRT James is thinking about pitting and at least trying to get a point for fastest lap? The only issue is if you push that hard, you never know if you're going to end up out the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, but the issue for James at the minute, as it stands, he's not going to get a point at all, but... Yeah. I think he'll just take a race finish. You know, I certainly would in that situation.
That's something. Here comes Elian then.
He's going to be passed before the corner, but can he get it stopped in time? Yeah, he can.
Gets past Harrison then and into 9th place. Oh, what's just
Carwin Robb setting a 1:36.5. He is blistering. 1.2 seconds in that last lap alone on Alexei.
This is exceptional pace from Carwin Robb. So, what a brilliant drive this is.
Look at that. Look at the grip in those tyres. Of course, the track is fully evolved at this point as well, just to really help those soft tyres speed along.
Well, of course, he's catching JT as well, but of course that's a massive gap.
11 seconds in 6 laps. He'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very impressed if Kyle and Rob manages to win this race.
You have to put some Red Bull in the Red Bull to catch him. And I don't think that's going to
Half a second through that corner. That's where those soft tyres make such a difference.
That is incredible.
Of course,
Red Bull making the most of the fresh rubber.
The one issue with softs is they kind of have this cliff where they'll be stupidly grippy, and when you get to about 20-30% tyre wear, and they will just go, and you'll be as slow as the mediums. Yeah. Like, you don't really get a gradual drop-off like you do with the harder tyre sets.
Miles Dunn getting past Cobalt, round the outside of turn 11.
Cobalt's gonna, no, is he, yeah, is he, he's gonna be close.
Cobalt is very, very tight. Miles Dunn should hold it. That's a brilliant move from Miles Dunn, round the outside of that very tricky turn 11 and up into 4th place now in this Vietnam Grand Prix.
And Lion gets past Red Sniper Eye in the background as well on the DRS straight.
So he's got DRS. Red Sniper Eye's going to try and come back in there with the turn 11. Does he have a look? No. Thinks better of it. And Elliot then up into 8th place, but he's now got just under 12 seconds to make up in one.
Common Rob only 4 seconds behind Alexi now. He's really pushing that car.
He might not need the penalty at this rate. He might just be able to get past him on track. But as you say, when will those soft tyres give up the ghost and just start to struggle a little bit too much? Hopefully for him, that doesn't happen until he's within 3 seconds, because this has been a really good drive from Cohen Robb since he came into the pits for this set of soft tyres. But at the minute, Alexi holding on to 2nd place. But of course, that gap is just coming down so quickly.
And look, he'll gain so much time through this corner because you can just get on the power so much earlier down this straight.
Look at that, just over
3 tenths, yeah, through that corner alone.
So he's pretty much within range now of Alexi to get 2nd place. Once he gets there, of course, he just has to make sure that he stays there. And even then, he'll probably continue to close that gap with just a few laps to go then in Vietnam. As Harrison as well is also very close to Red Sniper Eye, down towards turn 6. He's got DRS here, and if he can hold it together through his next couple of corners, he'll have an opportunity going into the heavy braking zone of turn 11. And Red Sniper Eye, I think, is going to have to give up 9th place here to Harrison, as Harrison gets in the slipstream and they close up to the DRS line, which again is quite difficult to spot. But there it is. He's opened up the rear wing there. And here we go, in the slipstream. Is he going to be close enough here? Red Sniper has actually got quite a good run.
Yeah, what a run by Red Sniper Eye.
Harrison unable to get past him yet. I just wonder if he maybe, it's a little bit wide, Red Sniper. I just wonder if he maybe saved up a bit of ERS for the second part of the straight to mitigate the effects of Harrison's DRS. Either way, he does stay in front for the time being. And it just continues to frustrate the Red Bull a little bit. One Red Bull up in 3rd place, about to be in 2nd place after Alexi's penalty. And Harrison. Oh, he's lost his front wing.
Oh no!
Mercedes. He's hit Red Sniper Eye.
Oh wait,
he's lost his front wing.
Hang on, if he pits, that means James is going to be in 10th place.
James will be in the points.
Come on, James!
James is going to be in the points for Renault. This is brilliant for James. So Harrison's in the pits now. It's awful for Harrison because he was just about to take 9th place, but with this pit stop, with that damage, he's had to come into the pits.
Rob very close to Alexi as well. He's only 8 tenths behind him now, by the way, further up the grid.
Going to pass him, but TRT James, this is the story of the day. I don't care. He's in the points, but we're not done yet. We're still on.
He's going to be about 20 seconds clear, I think, by the time Harrison gets out the pit. So that means he could spin it and still stay ahead of him, which is the main thing.
Yeah, but he could spin it and end up in the barrier as well.
Well, yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't do that. And let's hope he can keep it together. James will be sweating more than he ever has in his life right now as he looks to hold on for 10th place in his first points finish. His first finish of the season so far. Oh, what a story it would be for him as Cohen Robb then.
So close. Those softs just give you so much more grip and like the traction zone. You just can get on the power so much earlier.
Right behind the McLaren, the Honda power switching from the McLaren to the Red Bull. And the Red Bull not JT
with
a penalty. It doesn't really matter because he
it might, because if Cohen Robb gets past Alexi on this lap, he's then got 3 laps of clean air to just try and make up that gap.
And of course, JT's tyres aren't getting any younger. He has to pass him now, though, doesn't he? If he wants to win this race car.
Yeah, this one will be main straight, and he might have a chance. This could be quite an exciting end to this race.
It's going to be so tight if he can get past Alexi down this straight, which he surely will. You're right, there's going to be a real chance that he can make up just over 2 seconds to JT. Of course, he's not gaining right now because he's stuck behind the McLaren, but once he gets this orange car out of the way, he'll be able to focus on the red and white car in front, and he's already
going on the outside.
And, well, it doesn't matter because he's going to be way past him, isn't he, by the time they get to turn it on. There we go. And Carwin Robb flying past
he's got
Alexi.
3.5 laps to gain 2 seconds.
This is going to be tight. This is the 3rd race in a row where JT's had a penalty in the lead going into the final few laps.
But everyone's going to be watching that interval time now on the top left, just trying to see if it's ticking down enough.
Once again, squeaky bum time out the front for JT.
And you know Carwin Robb's going to be going full Lando Norris at Austria now. Scenario 7, he's going to be putting everything he can out of that car right now. That's what he's going to be trying to do.
Carwin Robb's about to go Super Saiyan as he heads into these
half a second through sector 3 as well.
He might do it, you know. He might get it, but again,
those soft tyres.
The question remains, though, how long do those soft tyres have before they fall off?
Because you have to remember, he's doing constant quali laps on these tyres. Like, they're not going to be just slowly ticking up in wear.
Yeah, he does currently have the fastest lap as well, does Carwin Robb. So if he were to win the race, that would give him 26 points from this evening. JT would still walk away with 19 points because, of course, he had pole position. So
everyone's watching that interval time now. He's gained half a second and he's kind of stalled out now. So
yeah, we'll see it. 1.5 seconds to make up. It's through the 3rd sector, isn't it, where he's going to make up.
And this corner as well is where he's going to be really making any time up. But he is.
Let's have a look.
No, JT's got a good run. I have a feeling those soft tyres might be starting to hit the wall, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's not pulling away from Alexi either.
Yeah, he needs another mistake, really, from JT, unless, of course, he's able to make up a lot of time in these last few laps.
It could all come down to the final time through Sector 3, and like how much can he gain?
Exits turn 11, then through turn 12. Yeah, JT's keeping it quite steady, isn't he, out the front?
Well, you know JT's going to see that now as well and be like, he's going to have to really drag that car. And James very close to that sniper right here.
He does have a penalty, so this probably won't matter, but...
yes, James!
Outside, and TRT James...
Oh!
So close to contact! Don't crash into him! Into 9th place!
Oh my god, Carwin Robb's only 3.7 seconds! Sector 3, he is gaining so much time!
For Carwin Robb. Is he going to win this Grand Prix?
That would be a hell of a drive to do that.
And can TRT James escape enough here from Red? He's already a second in front, actually, of Red Sniper Eye, so he might just get what he needs. However, we are running out of time in this Grand Prix, so James might just have to settle for 10th place.
3.5. Earlier on, you said that JT's race was pretty comfortable. I think we may have spoke slightly too soon on that one.
So it's once again, for the 3rd race running, he'll be sitting there very, very nervously indeed in Bahrain.
6/10 of a lap and a half to go.
It's going to be so close in Bahrain.
He's just praying that Carwin Robb hits that wall right now on those soft tyres and he just loses time.
I just wonder how long they have left.
I mean, 8 qualifying laps on those softs now.
Yeah.
And a bit of time behind Alexi. They're not going to be in the best of shape.
They won't, but he is still marginally closing the gap. JT caught some traffic in Bahrain, which gave him DRS to escape.
He's not going to get that today.
He lost out in Brazil right at the end to Vapor Canoe. Can he hold on despite his penalty this time in Vietnam? Or is Carwin Robb about to win his first race of the season? Carwin Robb, who got a win last season as well, 2 podiums as well in Season 6. He's already got the experience of being on the top step in the Formula PlayStation League, and with 3/10 in it going into the final lap.
Look at the time, he's gaining so much.
7. He's a second clear of Vapor Alexi. Doesn't need to worry about the McLaren. But look at it, he's within 3 seconds. Going on to the final lap of the Grand Prix.
This is going to be close.
So tight. Carwin Robb here is within 3 seconds. At the moment, the Red Bull driver is doing what he needs to do to win this Grand Prix. Unless JT has something miraculous to pull out of the bag to extend the gap to just over 3 seconds. Carwin Robb here is about to win in Season 7.
But all it takes is one slight loss of the rear end or one lock-up and running too wide into the corner, and suddenly those 3/10 disappear.
TRT James has P9, by the way, because he's now 6.5 seconds clear of Red Sniper Eye. So where the Mercedes has lost that time, I don't know. But TRT James is about to get P9 and 2 points from this Grand Prix.
Oh, Harrison
really
is
pushing over.
yeah, just cutting those corners so fine.
He's really taking a risk here, but he's 2.5 behind now. Elian, meanwhile, has gotten past Vapor Shea. There's that one into turn 1, but we're still watching this as Carwin Robb continues.
It's going to take a mistake now. Yellow's in sector 3. I think that might have been Red Sniper Eye briefly. Oh, Harrison's got past him. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Red Sniper Eye then down to P11. So Harrison's back up into the points in the Red Bull, although he has a penalty. So we'll see. He has now just gone over 3 seconds in front.
Colin Robbo.
It's just over 2 seconds. Oh, TRT James gets another penalty. Shouldn't matter. But here we go. It's 2 seconds between these two. So JT, he's had a penalty late on in each of the last 2 Grand Prix. He survived in Bahrain. He didn't survive in Brazil. Got passed on the last lap. For the third, or for the second time in the last 3. Oh, it's going to puncture! JT's going to puncture!
Oh, he's got puncture!
Colin Robb's going to win the Grand Prix on track! And Vapor Alexi!
He's going to get second!
He's going to get there as well! He passes him
oh! Oh no, Alexi got
my
second penalty!
Alexi gets third! And JT just about holds on!
He did a Hamilton!
Place. He did a Lewis Hamilton! Miles Dunn finishes in 4th! Vapor Cobalt will come over 5th. A last lap puncture for JT has cost him the win over the line. It would have cost him anyway with the penalty. But drama for the Alfa Romeo. He just about holds on to second at the end.
Oh, wow.
Cobalt in P5. Benjamin will be 6th. Vapor Elian, though, is right behind him.
Oh, is he?
Oh, it's so close.
Into the last corner!
He's pushing everything at him, but it's not going to work.
Who's got yellows in sector 2? I think that's Red Sniper Eye again.
Shea finishes 8th. TRTJ, here we go. There it is.
Come on!
To get the battle for the win.
2 more corners!
Is about to score his first point of the season. He's non-finished 7
Come
times
on!
in 7 races in season 7. But TRT James has scored points. Spins over the line.
He's carrying his front wing on top of the car. He finished in the most TRT James way possible, spinning across the line.
Red Sniper is going to come across the line with barely a 1/10 of a front wing. He's going to finish in P11.
Oh
no, he retires at the end anyway. What an incredible end to the Vietnam Grand Prix. What a win for Carwin Robb. He won it on track. He would have won the race with the penalty anyway. What a finish in Vietnam. James crashing across the line, and Red Sniper says I've had enough of this and crashes before he even gets to the line.
But Carwin Robb on the top step of the podium.
What a race that was. And well, it's a Red Bull winning for the first time this season, and it's Carwin Robb winning for the second time in his Formula PlayStation League career. What a race that was. That was absolutely crazy. Matt, driver of the day.
It's got to be Carwin Robb for me. What a drive that was to gain up all that time and take the race win. As much as he started second on the grid, his fastest lap was about a second clear. You can't argue that.
That was a hell of a charge, wasn't it, at the end of the race for Carwin Robb?
Very Ricardo-esque.
JT in P2. Vapor Alexi finishes in 3rd. Couldn't quite steal 2nd place away from JT at the end. Miles Dunn in 4th place. Williams, another impressive drive from him. Cobalt in 5th place. Benjamin in 6th. Elian in P7. Vapor Shea in 8th place. TRT James scores points in 9th for Renault. Harrison in 10th. Red Sniper Eye in P11. And Vapor Trench and Bazooka Joe both out of the Grand Prix. Well, JT unable to take full advantage of Canute's absence this evening. He'll be thanking Carwin Robb. What a finish that was to the Vietnam Grand Prix for the first time this season. It's Carwin Robb on the top step. Good night.